And so it is time for Making Smarter Decisions, informed by IBM Watson, who's smarter than Steve Young. No one, I say, so he's back.
There you go, Wendy.
There we go.
Nice lead in.
Our quarterback spotlight on Steve. Let's start with the quarterback with the best matchup.
I like Tom. Look, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have playoffs. Everything's on the line. They go to Oakland, and this defense, you wonder with Patrick Mahomes, what he did early in the season, what Derek Carr did. To me, this defense can't hold up. And so Tom Brady comes off of a bitter loss. Those guys are, you talk about the Patriots, for 20 years they've answered the bell. I think Tom Brady comes to Pittsburgh as poised to do something great as anybody in a long time.
I don't think you ever want to be the team that plays the Patriots after a tough loss. It typically does not bode well. How about a quarterback who may struggle due to the matchup?
Look, I watched the Minnesota Vikings in Seattle. That defense is still good, if not great. And they can, game to game, they can squash you. Ryan Tannehill coming out this glorious win, goes to Minnesota with Minnesota's life on the line. They changed offensive coordinators. I just think that the team itself is a pretty good locker room. I think they respond. That defense will respond. Ryan Tannehill's going to walk into a buzzsaw in Minnesota.
All right, you've taken Tom Brady off the board, my friend. So who do you want regardless?
I know it's not even that Miami Miracle's not even his fault. That's why it's not right that he comes off the board. But come on, Patrick Mahomes. It's 4th and 6 or 7. I don't remember what it was. He starts scrambling on the sideline. He looks down. He's like, oh, let me heave one down. And it's like you throw a long ball in the NFL across the midline, running to the sideline. You're 0 for 30 in your life 50. You don't complete that ball. Tyreek Hill comes out of a big gaggle of guys and makes the big play. Look, I cannot talk about Patrick Mahomes. He's in until, I don't know, maybe he takes the place of everybody forever. I just tired of seeing him do amazing things, and I don't understand this. It makes no sense. It's confusing. It's crazy. I'm Patrick Mahomes. He's in.
It doesn't, and those who've known him say he's been doing it really since, Little League. It just hasn't stopped. How about a potential breakout candidate, Steve?
I got Big Ben. I know it's odd. I just said that it's a great matchup for Tom. But I feel like one thing that the Pittsburgh Steelers can do is put up some points. And they can rally and offensively. I don't know if they can do that defensively. I guess that's my point. I think that Big Ben's a breakout because they were coming on and they throw it up and down and uneven. And I can't stand the Steelers right now. They're making me crazy. And I think that Big Ben answers the bell because it's the New England Patriots.
All right, fair enough. We'll be back with you shortly. Play a little quarterback bingo. Right now, though, we'll ask Adam Schefter his quarterback storyline for the week.
Wendy, you heard us mention earlier in the show that Carson Wentz has a fractured vertebrae. And because he's got that fractured vertebrae, it's obviously realistic to think that he's not going to be playing on Sunday night, which means the spotlight goes right back to Nick Foles, who stepped into a similar situation last year when the Eagles were in Los Angeles and Carson Wentz tore up his knee in L.A. The Eagles are going back to L.A., and they're going to be counting on Nick Foles once again with Carson Wentz having that fractured vertebrae, according to the CAT scan that he took yesterday. And so with their situation being what it is, they may be depending on Nick Foles Sunday night and for the rest of the season, depending on how Carson Wentz feels.
Certainly sounds like a possibility. Shefty, thank you. One more angle, the fantasy angle, playoff time. Here's Matthew Berry, quarterback love-hate.
Thanks, Wendy. Quarterback I love to exceed his projection on ESPN this week, Jared Goff. I get it. I know he has not looked good recently, but Goff, a completely different quarterback when he's at home. This year, averaging a league-high 27.6 fantasy points per game at home. He's been held under 21 points just once. By the way, he also ranks 4th in touchdown percentage, 2nd in passer rating when playing at the Coliseum in L.A. And now he gets to face an Eagles team that's giving up the 3rd most fantasy points per game to quarterbacks when on the road this season. So yes, this is an ideal matchup. If you survived last week, I'm back in on Jared Goff this week. Give me the over on his projection of 20.3. As for a quarterback I'm down on this week, it's Jameis Winston going on the road to face the Ravens. Remember, Winston leads the NFL in air yards per pass attempt, so the deep ball, a big part of his fantasy success. The Ravens, however, excel at defending the deep ball. This season, Baltimore, top 3 in touchdown percentage, completion percentage, yards per completion allowed on deep passes. Give me the under on Winston's projection of 18.9 this week.
Thank you, Matthew. We can't help but look back when these two teams get together. It's the best of Roethlisberger and Brady next.
Yeah, we ain't done, fellas. Hey, we said 60 minutes. We ain't done.
No penalties. Let's be smart. Let's keep grinding, okay? We got to get 7 down there.
It is the Patriots and the Steelers, the 9th regular season meeting between Big Ben and Tom Brady, the first with both of their teams entering the game coming off a loss. Here's the two quarterbacks mic'd up.
What's up, buddy?
How you doing, big guy?
This freaking
good to
kills
see,
me,
man.
man.
Unbelievable.
How are you, dude?
Doing good, man.
I got so much damn respect for you. I want to be out here against you so bad.
Vice versa. I feel the same way.
Hey, listen, I've never done this before, but I would love to get a jersey at some
Sure.
point.
I'd love to. Let's do it. I'll get you after the game.
I want. I'm with my office.
I feel the same way.
Best,
I feel the same way.
wish you the best.
Good luck, big guy.
Hopefully we see you again, all right?
Yeah,
Take
I
care
look
of
forward.
yourself,
Take care.
I'll take the ball. If we're kicking that way.
You want the ball?
You damn right I want the ball. I got
the number
you.
one defense in the world.
I got you.
You don't want to put them on the field, and then we can try and get the ball, 3 and out and get the ball?
Hey, man, you let me know if you feel the number one defense. I got you. I want the ball. Let's go.
Wide, turn up. They haven't stopped us yet. They haven't stopped us yet. No one's stopping us but us, okay? Be smart the rest of the way out, okay? No penalties. Let's be smart. Let's keep grinding, okay? We got to get 7 down there, okay? We got to get 7.
Yeah, we ain't done, fellas. Hey, we said 60 minutes. We ain't done.
We go out and take care of our business, be the best in the world. No one can slow us down. No one ever stops us but us, and we're not doing it today.
Let's go now. Let's go show some fight. Come on now, let's go.
Hey, right here. Right here. Heart. You gotta have heart. You gotta have heart. You gotta have heart.
Gets the snap, flips, over the middle, here comes Antonio Brown, loose again!
Brady throws it to the end zone.
He got it! Touchdown! Yes!
Good game, man.
Congratulations, man.
Hey, great job bringing him back down there, man. All right, big guy. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Yeah. So Dr. Brad, I said, what's up?
I mean, it's hard. You could listen to that for quite some time. Hard not to find it fascinating, really. Clearly, no pressure likes you in his face. They don't want to be pressured. But especially, I think now so, Tom Brady's getting a little older. He doesn't like it. Can the Steelers, Teddy, find the equation to do that and pressure and rattle Tom Brady?
They do. They have the ability to do that. They have the players, but it's going to take more than just a single individual rush. I think it's going to take their short intermediate coverage, how Tom looked to that quick read, that little crossing route by Edelman. Is it covered, and get him off his first read? That'll give T.J. Watt and those type of rushers a chance to get to him. That's the only way. Does the coaching staff of the Patriots realize how well they get to the quarterback? Yes, in sacks. You see it right there. One of the best in the business right there in terms of getting the quarterback on the ground. They don't want to give him those shots. So can they take care of those underneath quick passes?
Yeah.
That will result in pressure.
And it's so true. I mean, it's about Bud Dupree and T.J. Watt not getting frustrated because they're going to want to pass rush, but here comes the ball out really quick. And then, the Patriots set you up. They stay so balanced in what they're trying to do that it eliminates you, it frustrates you as a pass rusher. So can Bud Dupree, can T.J. Watt get there on obvious passing downs? And that's the key.
And something I just don't understand when going up against the Tom Brady, I mean, having, played with him for so long, is that a lot of the times it's not the pressure, it's the disruption. It's the hands in his face. It's a pass rusher realizing just the straight path to him, seeing the 3-step drop, getting your hand up, there's a tip ball, there's an interception. It takes a little bit of humility to just say, I'm not going to get there, and maybe I'll be able to disrupt the ball.
That's exactly right. 2 things come into play here. Number one, the Pittsburgh back end, which has been awful about the last 4 weeks, has to play a lot better than they have played. That's number one. Number two, you're exactly right. The inside guys are the ones who are most important. The inside stunts are the ones that are most important. You want to get rushers in Brady's face. You can take 2 F-16s and send them off the corner. It doesn't do a darn thing. We played against you for how many years in Indianapolis with Mathis and Freeney. It doesn't do any good. You've got to get him up the middle. And the other thing is with the heaviness of the Pittsburgh front, not Dupree and Watt, but the big guys inside, you go up tempo, which the Pats are perfectly capable of doing, you wear them out physically. And over the course of a game, that will take its toll.
On the flip side, of course, is Roethlisberger. He's been clear when he's asked about the interceptions. I do what I do. If you're a good shooter, you keep shooting. Fair enough. Can he use that gunslinger mentality in this game? Does that get him in trouble? I mean, he is who he is. You gotta give him that.
And that's the thing. You've seen the demise of this football team based off of some of the bonehead decisions that he's made, especially in the plus 20, turn the ball over. And you can't do that against good football teams. So at some point, it's going to catch up to you. Is that Ben's way of trying to win games? Absolutely. There's, he has weapons outside. Antonio Brown, Juju Smith, he has guys that he can get the ball to. But you have to take care of balls in crucial situations, especially in a plus 20.
And if you go back and look at the last 3 weeks ago, the Pittsburgh Steelers were sitting in a position where you're saying they're going to compete for home field advantage, first round bye, AFC North title, and now all of it is in jeopardy. And it's 3 losses that you would never think that they would have had. It was in Denver, an interception deep in the red zone where Ben throws a pass that was confusing. The next week, right? It's the loss to the Los Angeles Chargers in Pittsburgh.
Keenan Allen had a big day there.
Yeah.
And then this past
lead going into the fourth
And then
quarter.
this past week, it's the Raiders, like 3 confounding losses in ways that you would never think that this team, which is a good team, could lose a game, and they did lose that game. So they can't be making those mistakes. They've got to shore up the back end. They've got to get the pass rush up the middle. They got to do all those things. But this is a good team that really has struggled the last 3 weeks.
They have had difficulty closing it out. It's funny when you heard Ben Roethlisberger say, we're the only ones who beat us, and we're not going to do it. And that's what they've done the past 3 weeks, in a lot of ways. So, again, a good one with a lot of playoff implications on the line Sunday in that 4 o'clock window. Teddy talked about Keenan Allen. Well, will he go off for the Chiefs tonight? Can Michael Thomas and T.Y. Hilton help their teams to get the big W? We'll talk about this next.